MongoDB Cloud provides an integrated data foundation for creating and growing the most advanced, demanding, and powerful applications. One truth we hear over and over is that whatever you're building, once you have data, you're going to want to understand it. If you're using an off-the-shelf business intelligence tool, our BI connector makes it easy to connect directly to MongoDB. But we want you to be able to get all of your data work done in one place. That's why we built the fully integrated MongoDB Charts. Charts allows you to visualize data right where it lives, no transformation required.
We want Charts to be the best visualization tool for you to work with document data. Charts works directly on your Atlas cluster data, and it understands your data's content and structure. Lauren, let's look at some of that data.
Definitely. Charts is super easy to work with. I can show you right now. Here's a donut chart called Boarding Compliance. Each donut segment is a different safety level. A green safety level means there were no violations. A red safety level means there was at least one violation that resulted in a citation being issued. And an amber safety level means that all the violations issued were warnings. But now I want to change the donut segments to just show compliance versus any violation, whether there were any citations or not. I don't have a field like that in my data. However, Charts allows me to create a new calculated field, which I can use to determine if a boarding is compliant or not. Let's add a calculated field and name it Compliance. Then I can input my value expression that checks the safety level. If the safety level is green, return compliant. Else, return non-compliant. I'll use compliance as my label. Now let's put the finishing touches on this chart by customizing the colors. And we're done.
Since you're never going to be satisfied with just one chart, the next step is making it simple to group related charts into complete dashboards that automatically update as your data changes.
Here's a dashboard that shows the most important information for WildAid. At the top are the critical stats at a glance. Next, we have an interactive map that shows boardings. I can zoom in to see boardings near the Galapagos Islands.
Charts aren't just about making it easy for you to analyze your own data. They're also a great tool for visualizing data in user-facing applications. You could always roll your own, but we make it easy to embed live updating charts directly into a web application interface with just an iframe, so you don't have to. That's a lot of code you don't have to write, debug, and maintain.
Exactly. Let me show you how I can embed the donut chart. The first thing I'll want to do is enable unauthenticated access. Since this is public data, access can be open. Of course, I do have the option of enforcing authentication for more private data. Now that I've enabled unauthenticated access, all I need to do is copy this embed code. I have a simple website with information about threats to the Galapagos Islands here. So I will paste the embed code in my web page and save it. Now, when I refresh my web page, I can see my chart. Pretty simple, right? Without charts, I'd probably have to refresh my D3 skills or learn something else to visualize this data. Not what I want to do with my time right now. Because I'm embedding a chart, I don't even have to be the one to create or edit the chart. The data visualization team can easily create the visualization in charts without me. That's a win for everyone. Now, I have a feeling some of you are cringing looking at this. It's too bright. I know a lot of people have very strong feelings about light mode versus dark mode. So I have good news. Charts now has dark mode. Here I'll change from light to dark. The iframe background color is no longer white, and the theme has changed to dark. I can copy this embed code, drop it in my web page, save my file, and refresh my browser. Ta-da! We have dark mode.
Thanks, Lauren. We love embedded charts, but there's one thing you've been asking for a while: JavaScript rendering. Iframes are functional but limiting tools for embedding in modern web interfaces, and JavaScript embedding allows you more control over rendering and interaction. Well, the new MongoDB Charts embedding SDK is exactly that. Bob and Karima from WildAid are here to show how we use the new embedded SDK in the WildAid app we created together.
Hi, Kaylin.
So what do you want to see in your app?
A good indication of the effectiveness of our enforcement is compliance rate. Over time, if we see compliance rate increasing, it's a good indication that the oceans are being protected. We also want to see our boardings on a map, looking at which zones are potentially more dangerous and be able to drill down into the details of the boardings. The map will help us make decisions on where to focus our patrols to be more effective and target our efforts so that we can optimize our time and fuel.
Building that with the Embedding SDK was easy. The SDK lets me control the size, theme, filters, and refresh behavior, as well as the integration with auth tokens directly in the app. To get the information to embed the chart in my app, I'll use the JavaScript SDK dialog, which gives me the chart's ID and the chart's base URL. The base URL is in the app here, and the chart's ID is here. Bob, can you see if it works?
Sure, seems to be working. Earlier you showed me how we can zoom in and move the map, so let me try that. I'll zoom in on the coast of Ecuador. So here we can see where we've been patrolling, and a big spot we may need to focus on more. Very good work.
We aim to please. Lauren talked a bit about limiting access to charts earlier already, but there's a bit more to it. Bob and Karima, can you tell our viewers about how you're managing access in your app?
Sure. As an officer, I should only be able to see my own agency's data. Here's what I see when I log in. I only have data from my agency, the Armada del Ecuador.
I'm part of a different agency, and Bob's agency has shared data with me. I can't change any of that data, I can only see it. This is what it looks like for me. You can see on the map that I have more than one agency's data because the dots are a different color based on the agency they're in. I can see both agencies in the app right now, the Armada del Ecuador and the Parque Nacional Galapagos. If we need to share all or some of the data between agencies, we can. This is very exciting because we can track illegal activity at a global level.
So you needed to enforce a role-based view of the data based on the identity of the authenticated user. Let's look at how that works.
In a Realm app, we have data access rules that ensure a given user can only see the data they are authorized to see. The officer rule calls the isOfficer function to determine if the current user has access to the current document. The function returns true if the user's agency field matches the document's agency field. And you don't have to use Realm for auth. Authenticated embedding also works with Google and other web authentication platforms.
We're really excited to see how you can use embedded charts to bring live data into your own applications. When you need to really dig into your data, though, you're going to want to use the full power of charts and dashboards.
Here's a dashboard. Bob, can you explain what we're seeing?
Yeah, this looks like data from Saildrone. The chart on the left shows the water temperature at different times. Sailfish can be targeted by illegal longliners. The ideal temperature for sailfish is somewhere between 23.5 and 25.8 degrees Celsius. By using the chart on the right, we can see temperature plumes that help us figure out where the sailfish might be. The points in blue are in the ideal water temperature range for sailfish, and the points in green are not. So we now have a visual aid to protect the sailfish from the illegal longliners.
What I'd really like to be able to do is map where the ideal sailfish temperatures are so we can plan our patrols to optimize our efforts.
What a miraculously well-timed prompt. MongoDB Charts on Atlas now supports dashboard-level filters, allowing you to quickly change the context of an entire dashboard to get actionable insights faster.
Let me build that for you. I'm going to apply the filter for our water temperature. I'll set the min to 23.5 and the max to 25.8. Now, the chart on the left is only showing the blue points that show the ideal sailfish temperature because the filter is being applied. Karima, what would you like the default to be in terms of how recent the data is?
The last week would be great.
Okay, give me a moment. Now that we have the data, let's zoom out so we can see where we are. Here you go.
Wow, perfect. Now we know exactly where to send our patrols.
Exactly. You can visualize subsets of data across the entire dashboard. And anyone else who has access can do the same, making collaboration very easy.
I'm glad you mentioned collaboration. This Saildrone data is public. Is there a way that we can share the whole dashboard and the filtering?
A few months ago, we released public link sharing for charts.
I'll open Access Settings and choose to allow anyone with this link to access the dashboard. I can grab a copy of the link and send it to you, Karima. You can share this link and anyone can see the dashboard and slice and dice the data with the dashboard level filtering. Let me open an incognito window, which lets me see the public URL as if I were not authenticated. This is what anyone who views the dashboard will see, and they can adjust the filters for themselves.
MongoDB Charts is always evolving. Take a look at our newest features, including the new Charts Embedding SDK, dashboard filtering, and public link sharing. Charts lets you visualize your document data with an intuitive drag-and-drop interface, allowing anyone to build and share powerful dashboards internally and externally, and developers to code them into your apps without having to waste time pushing pixels.